Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It's like me trying to catch up here, and that's why I titled this today "Catching Up" because that's exactly what I need to do. First of all, I have to tell all of you. Well, first, I have to tell Carrie, thank you so much for letting me stream to the Beautiful Witch. I appreciate that. I appreciate her. She's incredible. Please check out her website. At the Beautiful Witch or La Hermosa Bruja, and you can see, obviously, you can see her stuff on her Facebook page. But she has amazing stuff. I'm so sorry that I did not go live last week. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I clean forgot. Now, I don't really know how I was able to forget that this is part of my job. This is my work, and I forgot. Um, I don't know what to say. I have no. I don't know if it was just like a menopause moment. I don't know. It was really weird though. Like I was doing a reading for somebody on Wednesday, and I was just like, "Did I get the day wrong for you? Is today really Wednesday?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's really Wednesday." And I went, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "I completely forgot that it was Wednesday." I said, "I thought I I I completely forgot to do my show last night." And she was like, "Are you kidding?" And I went, "No, I completely forgot to do my show. Like, just left my mind." It was, I mean, I think I was just hanging around. I don't know. I mean, I know that I was working. I know that I had like clients during the day, and I just forgot. So I don't know what was going on with me. Again, I don't know if it was a menopause moment or what. Maybe I need to up my vitamins to have some, keep those memory glitches back. I don't know. Really weird. Really weird. So, I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry. Um, hey Alethea, hey Kelsey, how are you guys? So Kelsey, I hope you're feeling better. And in fact, Kelsey, I found some. You said that you didn't have Tai Chi in your area. I found a couple of books that I have that haven't sold yet. So I thought maybe you might like those. They're Tai Chi. I don't really know that much about Tai Chi, but I'm interested in it. And I did find some places on YouTube that you can follow along with Tai Chi. It's an interesting one. So, how is everybody doing? I mean, this is like a check-in because let me tell you, once the holidays start, everybody's going to get just like crazy. It's the empaths are going to go into overdrive. This is going to be a challenging time. It always is. It always is, especially for, our lovely empaths that are out there. Challenging. So there's a couple of things that I do want to talk about that I heard. Well, one thing that I've been doing for a long time, but something new I heard. My friend Becky was telling me that she got this from another friend of hers. That it's sort of an update on, update on spell work, and I think that we should always update. It's like one of my friends, Veronica, said that she felt like the traditional tarot decks should be updated because clearly, a lot of that stuff we don't really use anymore, like a chariot. Not really using the chariot so much these days. There's a lot of things that are not as common as they were in like the 1400s when the first tarot decks really started showing up, and they weren't even tarot. They were playing cards, but they had a lot of the major arcana in them in those times. So, it does. I think we do need to update stuff. switch it out for an SUV. That is really good, Kelsey. That's a really good idea. So I get it, and I think that a lot of things should be updated. It's like there was a comedian that was on, my husband was listening to him, and it was about the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and he goes, I think if our forefathers, from the 1700s could come back and go, look at us now, they'd be like, you guys didn't update that? You didn't update it? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that needs to be updated, right? Like our laws and stuff should be updated. So I'm saying all that to tell you that Becky was telling me that she uses paper towel rolls, and I was collecting these for one of my kids' classes. They were doing a project with these. So I was collecting toilet paper rolls, and I thought this would be so perfect to use this as an example. When you have to do something that has spell work that you have to bury somewhere, or you even have to burn it, you can put it in one of these. Now, I started playing with it a little. I cannibalized some of these. I'll just be honest with you. That you can fold this in on itself. You can fold the end. See, I didn't do it right the first time with this one. Did you notice that? Did you notice that? So you can fold this in on itself. You can tape it. You can glue it, whatever. And you can bury this, and this is biodegradable. So if you sell your house in a few years, that somebody's not going to dig up the backyard and find a lot of little jars, glass jars. Yeah. Gas prices go up anymore. I may be using a chariot. Oh my gosh, that's good. There's actually a constitutional committee that has been formed, and they are trying to make additions and changes that are relevant. That's a great thing, Kelsey. I think that's awesome. So again, this is something great that you can put your spell in. You can put your spell work in. Fill the ends, tape them up, whatever. And you can bury this, and it's biodegradable. Becky had a great idea too. She said that you can just write what the spell is or whatever it is on the outside of it. You can burn this. You can bury it, whatever. Either any way you look at it, you can burn, bury, spread it around in this. So you can use a paper towel holder or a toilet paper roll. Kind of handy, isn't it? And it saves your jars. I mean, I'm always running out of jars. I have a ton of jars because I do a lot of canning. I have a ton of jars, but I still run out of jars. I'm still very selfish about using my jars for different things. So this is a great option. Okay, it's a great option. The only time that I think I wouldn't use this and I would actually use a jar is when I do the dream jars for beside my bed, because they actually need a lid to keep my cat out of them. Okay, the cats, And I was helping a friend today move, and a little kitty came up to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to take this cat. Chris is going to kill me. It was so gorgeous. It was like a little smoky. She's not that old. She's really not that old. It's a little smoky kitten. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I don't know. I may have to go back and get that cat. He's going to be upset. I mean, he's going to be upset. But I'm going to bring home another cat. And then I'll have a total of 8. Won't that be great? I mean, 8's a great number. I don't know how great of a number that is for cats. I mean, Yeah. 3 dogs, 8 cats, 2 kids. Is that a good idea? Okay, 4 of them are they're outdoors, they're feral, but I feed the family, so can't say no. But it was a beautiful cat, so I think she may be coming home with me. I hope he's not watching right now. I'm gonna go back out there and get that cat. All right. So I talked about like the spells, instead of putting them in jars, that you can put them in the cardboard rolls from toilet paper or from paper towels. Thank you again, Becky. That is a fantastic little piece of information there. It's awesome. The other thing I want to talk about, I did an entire show on this a long time ago. It's probably time that I redo that show. This is black salt. This particular black salt, I did not use ash to make black salt. I didn't use ash to make this one, and that is the typical way of doing it. Is to use ash or from your skillet to make the black salt in your skillet with the just like all the stuff in your cast iron skillet, because people didn't use soap on their cast iron skillets back in the day. They really shouldn't use soap on your cast iron skillet now, but that's how they typically made their black salt. I used food dye to make this black salt. I used edible food dye that I bought at Michael's to make this black salt. It's great. It's great. I think it's just it's an updated way of doing something that, we all use. And I think this is an updated method, and I like it. I really dig it. I love it. So there's just some things that I think that it's good. It's a good thing for us to address every now and then, and step back and go, okay, how do we need to look at this? How do we need to, how do we need to put our focus here? Because I think that we do need to update things from time to time. The other thing was, I did want to talk about this because this has to do with astrology, and we just talked about the astrology from last week, or not last week, because clearly menopause mind here forgot last week. But I wanted to talk about the traditional versus modern astrology again. There was a little bit of confusion, and I just want to point out some things. So in the traditional astrology, all right, we had the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, and that's it. That's it. So when you talk to people who do a traditional chart, they usually do traditional whole house charts, okay? I don't necessarily read that way, but that's okay. And I've only been studying astrology since 2017. So this is relatively new to me. I mean, really, I started studying it in 2017. It's only 2023. So 6 years is not long enough. One of the ladies that got me into astrology has been studying astrology for 40 years. And she's like, I still discover new stuff. I still discover interesting things. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, that being said, in the traditional astrology, you will see that Mars rules both Scorpio and Aries. Okay, so that's why a lot of people were saying, okay, that Mars was in its home sign of Scorpio, and I was like, yeah, but in the modern astrology, Pluto rules Scorpio. In the modern astrology, Pluto rules Scorpio. Uranus rules Aquarius, not Saturn. Okay, see, now I've forgotten. Jupiter, I think, rules Sagittarius and Pisces in the traditional. I'm trying to roll back up. Now Neptune rules Pisces. Pluto rules Scorpio. Venus still rules Taurus and Libra. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. I guess they're waiting to see if they like discover more planets. I'm sorry. I'm just being a little bit of a smart ass. But I was looking, I had them listed. Of course, as I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, I don't have them listed for you. Okay. Yeah, it was just Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Okay. So those are the ones that have been, I guess, added in. And I think that it's challenging for some people when you're studying it and you're just like, okay, what are they talking about? I thought Pluto ruled Scorpio, not Mars ruling Scorpio. So it's a little, I personally like the modern in a lot of this stuff, but I understand the traditional and I get that. And I do appreciate it, but that's not the way that I read charts. That's not the way I personally do it, but to each his own. Okay. Just like one of the ladies that I really, really love on YouTube, Marin Altman, she does traditional whole house charts. That's all she does. I don't read it that way, but I love to listen to her. She's very interesting. She has a lot of information. She's only like 25 or 26 years old. And it's like this girl was born with this stuff, like right in. I mean, like she was born just knowing it. And she probably was. She's really intelligent and she's really into this. So the thing is, I think that it's kind of important to embrace the traditional or maybe honor the traditions, but it's okay to put like a modern twist on it. Because as we were just talking about, the hermit card, we don't really have a lot of hermitages around anymore. Like in England, they still really, I'm not even kidding. They still would have a hermit living on the property of a large estate because they felt like it brought them luck. It's interesting. It's interesting. But we don't have a lot of hermits around anymore, especially with social media. So even if these people are introverts, they still get out there on social media and just slam you or say negative things about you online because, you know, they have a voice to do that. Very interesting. I was trying to think of what else that's not exactly, I mean, the Tower card is really old, you know, castles, king and queen. Not a lot of countries have a monarchy anymore. And the ones that do, the monarchy is not necessarily the rulers. They do have some sort of parliamentary system, in place. So having that, the Tower card, but I understand that we need a card that shows upheaval or shows, stuff that's getting destroyed to make way for the new or something. I get that. But the Tower is a little dated. The Hierophant, that's a little dated. There's some interesting things with our cards. I get it. Again, not a lot of pages running around because we don't really all have monarchies anymore. But so I agree with this getting updated. But the thing is, it's been around for so long. People are actually, they understand it, right? Kelsey, right you are. Yes, you're right you are. And the other updated thing, so this, I hope you can see it really well. This is something called orange or red selenite. So I had some people were calling it red selenite. I'm not really sure. Or orange selenite is ones that I have now. Isn't that pretty? Someone from the giveaway just won some orange or red selenite. I feel like, again, this is like updated. Well, hello, Cade. I feel like this is sort of updated because I still feel like it has all the properties of the traditional white selenite, but I like it. I like it. So this is a little bit, updated. Updated. Again, I'm loving that word today. It really has been, it's been a nutty week. Has anybody else had this? Like the other day, I was trying to load my videos for the new moon, the new moon reading in Scorpio. It took 2.5 days to get my videos uploaded. Is that a normal thing? No, it is not. I don't know what's going on with my internet. It's weird. That's something we're dealing with. So the internet, 2.5 days to upload 12 videos. I mean, really, we all need to get some updates. You know what I mean? I had like a whole list of things, but I honestly did not get back home until a little after 7 tonight. So my hair is still up from me helping my friend move today. And my nails are still on, but they're wrecked. It's been a weird couple of weeks. It really has. But I do want to point out again, this is the same book. It's just 2 different versions. The only astrology book you'll ever need. These are fantastic texts. If you are trying to understand astrology, if you're trying to do some basic charts, or if you're trying to understand your chart, the places again to get your free chart is Cafe Astrology. I love their explanations. I love the details that you get in a free chart. You get a lot of details, you get a lot of information. Personally, I like the actual charts better in astro.com. I like those charts better just because I can understand them. I look at them and I'm like, okay, all right, this works. So they're really great. And again, hey, they updated it. How about that? And I have both versions. It's great. So, another thing that I personally updated. So when I used to use my pendulum a lot. I used to use it all the time. I first started doing this when I used my pendulum is I would ask for percentages when I did readings. And I know I've talked about this before on here, like how I do readings. I do readings on percentages. Why? Because we change our minds so quickly these days. We change our minds so much quicker now than we did even 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I could do a reading for somebody and I could pretty much line it up. And I would be like, this is what's going on. And I could say for sure, this is what was going to happen. What happened? Google happened. Smartphones happened. We walk around with more information on this phone than in my entire high school in the 80s, because I graduated in 1990. We had like 3 computers for the entire high school. The college I went to, our computer lab had 6 computers and 1 printer. This is a lot of information out there these days. We change our minds so quickly. If we don't know something, we look it up. Do you memorize people's phone numbers anymore? I still remember my childhood phone number. I remember my grandparents' phone number because that's never changed. I mean, I remember all of those things. I remember my childhood best friend's phone number. I remember my cousin's phone number from when we were kids. I remember those because why? It wasn't right at my fingertips. I had to know that when I was out in public somewhere and needed to call them. For that matter, when was the last time you guys saw a phone booth? Okay, aside from maybe at the airport. I've seen public phones at the airport. It's not often, but I've seen them. When was the last time you guys saw a phone booth? I reread a book the other day that is one of my favorite books, and this guy was like walking down the street in Atlanta and was like, I'm going to this phone booth. I was like, phone booth? I mean, like, my kids wouldn't even know what that is. How is Doctor Who getting around? I mean, what phone booth? So, updates. That's all I'm saying. This is why I use percentages when I read. This is why I ask my guides now. I don't even need my pendulum as much, but I used my pendulum and I drew out a scale for my guides, and I was like, give me percentages. If this is going to happen, if this isn't going to happen. So the friend that I helped move today, she was actually moving a business, and she had asked me, she was like, when are we going to, is this going to open up? Because she was a part of this big business. It's a long story. Anyway, their business license got taken away. And I was like, well, there's like a 32% chance that you're going to open before Thanksgiving. And, today when I was helping her pack up, she goes, has the percent changed? And I went, yeah, it has. And I said, it's gone down. And I said, now there's a 38% chance that it opens before Christmas. And I said, but I don't really like that. I don't really like that ratio. I don't like that percentage, because the chance of like it opening before Thanksgiving has moved to like 7%. Well, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It just means that maybe the person to reopen the building where the building was shut down, maybe that person isn't willing to go the extra mile to get the building reopened, to get the certificate of occupancy back in, Oh, thank you, Cassie. I'm so glad. It is a great book. It is. What's a phone booth? Funny, Kelsey. That's hilarious. Kelsey, just kidding. There was one in a small town I go through occasionally, but it disappeared about 10 years ago. Yes. I recommend memorizing at least one emergency phone number. My boyfriend was in a serious accident with no phone in the hospital and didn't know my number. Oh my gosh, Cassie, that is a great idea. Do you know that I've been told that you should laminate, like have a little card with some emergency information laminated and put in your wallet, like, your spouse or parents or whoever, kids, name and phone number, so that they can get in touch with someone if you are unconscious or they can't open up your phone. Because, hey, guess what? Now this phone opens up with my face. It doesn't even open up with a thumbprint. You know what I mean? So it opens up with my face. But that is a great idea, Cassie. Oh my gosh. And I'm so sorry about your fella. Is he okay? I mean, a serious accident? That man's been through it. Dude, come on. He needs a break. Isn't he a fixed sign? Because the fixed signs are finally getting a break. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, they're finally getting a break. They really are. I know my mom's sister-in-law and one brother's cell phone numbers as well as my grandmother's landline. Oh, yeah, this was 5-ish yesterday. Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm so glad that he's okay. Virgo. Oh, no, he's a mutable sign. Now we're in it. That's fun. Yeah. Oh my gosh, my lips are so chapped. Y'all, I don't have lipstick on. This is just chapped lips. They're very sore. So, I'm acquiring a new cat because I'm going to go back out there and get that kitty. I just can't leave it. Dr. Seuss is going to absolutely kill me. Mouse is going to have a coronary. Pretty sure about that. So, is everyone ready for the holidays? Are all of you lovely, lovely empaths ready for the holidays? What is the percentage we're going to have a good holiday season? I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. No. But it's a good idea if you are using your pendulum. If you're using your pendulum on a regular basis, draw out a scale. Draw out a scale for, like, in a semicircle. Draw out a scale and ask your pendulum, what is the percentage this is going to happen? And I'm going to tell you what else, because I see things coming into me, but they can change. All that it takes is for somebody to change their mind about the way they drive to work, and it could change their perspective about everything. Seriously, I'm not kidding. This one lady that I read for years ago, I told her she was so not happy with the reading. And I was like, look, if you don't like it, just change something. Change something. Change the way you do your hair, or what time you wake up in the morning, or the route that you take to go to work or to come home from work, or just change the grocery store. She did change the grocery store that she was going to, and she ended up meeting somebody that was her new hairdresser. Yeah. Because she was upset with her hairdresser. I know this is an important thing. It really is. But she ended up meeting the person who was her new hairdresser because she went to a different grocery store. Changing your mind about something changes everything. The thing is, too, me changing my mind about something could affect Kelsey, could affect Cassie, could affect Alethea, whoever else is in the comments. Me changing my mind about something could affect that. Like me forgetting with the menopause mind, forgetting last week that I had a show on Tuesday night. Okay, that could affect somebody. I know it affected my kids. I mean, because they were like, oh, because they kept asking, like, what are you doing? Are you hanging out with us? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I live here. They remembered. I forgot. Isn't that great? It's great. So draw a scale out for yourself. Draw a little half circle. Okay. Put key percentages in. I put all of them in. And ask your guides, what is the percentage that this is going to happen? What is the percentage this is going to take place? You'll be surprised at most of the percentages. Most of the percentages are between 40 and 64, 65. Most of the percentages that you're going to see are between that because people change their minds. I'm looking forward to 4 days of peace and quiet with just me and the pets. I would pay good money for that, Kelsey. I would pay good money to have peace and quiet with just me and the pets. All those years that I lived by myself, all those years that I was a solo artist living by myself, and it was just me and my dog, I had no idea. I mean, really. Oh my gosh. Hey, Amber Melanie, how are you? I had no idea. Now, I'm not saying that I don't love my kids, my family. I do. But man, it would be nice just to have a few days, just some quiet. Me and the pets and maybe Casablanca, a bottle of wine. Okay, I'll stop daydreaming. I was not invited to any Thanksgiving celebrations with my family. Did they just leave the Pisces out? Well, I tell you, my family does not celebrate Thanksgiving until Saturday. So that's lovely for me. I mean, I like that. I am A-okay satisfied with that. Yeah. Is there anything else that you guys can think of that we like update maybe on a black salt, putting our spells in cardboard holders, the traditional and the modern astrology setups, anything that you guys can think of that we update or should update? And again, I think that so much has changed. So much has changed in the last 20 years, in the last 15 years. So much has changed that it feels like we are moving at warp speed. I mean, it really does. And Christmas will be the same. My brother and my mom will be out of the country, so. Oh, Kelsey, I know that doesn't sound like fun, but that is a dream to someone like me. Used to live alone, and now I'm like surrounded. My brother's been visiting after my mother-in-law left. My brother's been visiting, so I have 4 men in the house. Well, 2 are small, but 4 males in my house, 3 dogs, 3 cats, and 4 cats outside. And here I am contemplating going to get that other kitten. And Alethea is traveling to Sedona. Alethea, I'm so jealous. Y'all, after we talked about that we should do a trip together, I've been really thinking about it. Can y'all imagine a metaphysical round table, like just trip? I mean, I would be giddy with just no one needing mommy for just a minute. Just a minute. It's just a thought. Okay, do you guys have anything else that you think needs to be updated or should be updated? I mean, again, there's a lot. I think there's some things that we should definitely keep. I think the basics of the tarot, definitely we should keep. The basics of the astrology, I think we should keep. I like the modern astrology. It's just me. It's not a rule, is what I'm saying. It's not a hard and fast rule. There are other people that agree with that. But updating the tarot does seem like a fine idea. Just a little. Just a little. I mean, the Empress and the Emperor. Okay. Oh, okay, Cassie. A couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, we talked about. We were like, "Oh my gosh, we should talk about it. We should do a trip, like all of us together, and go somewhere." Like, where were we talking about? We were talking about like places that are like sort of neat spiritual places. Like there's a place in France that I'm just dying to go to. Places in Italy, obviously. Oh my gosh. I mean, we have a friend, Alethea and I have a friend that's Greek, and I was like, we could have our own little Greek guide. Take us around in Greece. There's just lots of places that I just think I'm like, it would just be so cool, It would just be really neat to do that. So that everybody was like, oh my gosh, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's sign up. I don't know if I'm capable of organizing it. Not with the menopause brain. I'm gonna have to wait until I get on some oh my gosh, hormone therapy. Yeah, I was like, I can't even think of the name of it. Hey Becky, how are you? Becky, I've already talked about you. I've already told everybody how you told me about updating, doing our spells in these, instead of glass and burying it in our yard, that you could even burn these. Becky has joined the crowd. Everybody, even if you are on YouTube, well, I can see her. She's on Facebook. But yeah, so Becky is the one that shared this wonderful idea with me. So toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls. This is fantastic. Also, Becky has an awesome site on Facebook. It is Gypsy Soul Surfer. Yes. Gypsy Soul Surfer, right? Yes, that's right. I'm like, I cannot, I'm like tired. Helping my friends move all day. I'm tired. And I just got home at it was just a little after 7. So this was a quick. I'm really glad you guys can't smell me through the camera. I guess that's a good thing. I've still got my hair in the I'm helping my friends move today hair. We're doing good. So you guys can find Becky Morgan on her Facebook group, Gypsy Soul Surfer, and she posts stuff on there all the time. It's just really incredible. These incredible mandalas that are for healing and just great stuff. Excellent stuff. Yes, we really should plan a trip. And what else do you guys think that should be updated? Like even with your healing practices, I think Reiki does get. I feel like Reiki gets updated. Even working with, I was kind of looking through some of the books that I was talking to Kelsey about with Tai Chi. Even that sort of gets updated. Like they're still using the same practices, but now they're using it for more stuff. Like they're using it more for like stress and anxiety. When, except in really the last century, did we hear about people with anxiety? I mean, we heard about women with the vapors. I mean, in the 19th century. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actual anxiety and stress and stuff. When did that really start? Like in the 80s? I mean, with like this massive trend of capitalism. I mean, when we saw the Wolf of Wall Street or whatever. But the thing is, there's just there's so much change. There really is. And I think that it's really scary to some people. And I think that's why they can't evolve. Like Becky's saying, she says it's alive, always changing and evolving. Yes. And if you can't change and evolve, if you can't move with the times, then you get stuck. I mean, you just get stuck and stranded. And we don't want to dig ourselves deeper into quicksand. We want to keep moving forward. And moving and changing with the times is really updating ourselves, updating our practices, keeping the traditions, but bringing in some modern twists, like how I make my black salt. Now my black salt, I do have ash back here that came from my fire pit, but I still make a lot of my black salt with black food coloring, or it's not liquid, it's like a paste. It's like an edible food coloring paste. Yeah, an edible dye, I think is what it's called. But yeah, I have a jar back here of ash that I have from my yard, from my fire pit. I mean, you just use a lot of stuff, you know. Becky makes her black salt with burnt stuff from her cast iron pan. Again, that is a very traditional way of doing it. Here's an updated method. Because not a lot of women have cast iron pans anymore. Okay, not a lot of cooks. It's not just women anymore that cook, it's men too, but they don't all have cast iron pans. I have a couple, but they're inherited. Okay. I know what I was going to show you guys. I have this fun thing. Okay, so, I was doing a lot of reviews on some different things. So I had this little disc that I was reviewing. I love this, and this is something that I was using with my pendulum. And the other side it's just like it's negative. It's the same thing, it's just in black. Oh, come on, focus. Okay, hang on. There we go. So it's really incredible because this is a fantastic thing to use your pendulum with, because the pendulum does swing. Yes. Yes. I'm doing this backwards. Rephrase, and then rephrase is down here. So you can really see the pendulum swinging. This is fantastic. I love this. And I love this like updated way of, again, using your pendulum. Here is another thing that I really, really love. And I use this for making crystal grids. This is the seed of life. Some call it the flower of life. And I love it because this has like the actual places on it where you can put your crystals. Right here, right here. And it shows you the different grids. So this is fantastic. I love this. They're ready-made. You can buy these. You don't have to go out and carve it yourself in wood. But you can also print these off of the internet and just use this on a piece of paper. It's kind of handy that you don't have to go and carve this into, a tree that you've had to harvest or cut down. It's kind of neat. I love those. I have a bunch of little crystals for sale, making crystal grids right now too. Yes, and Reiki charged. Good point, Becky. So it's neat and fantastic stuff that's out there. And I don't feel like it's the wrong way to use the practice. I really don't. I think it's the right way to do it. It's an updated version. And because what do I say? What do I say? 85% of magic is intention. 85% of magic is what is coming from you. The rest of it is to help you keep your focus. The candles back here is to help you keep your focus. Is to help you keep your mind and your hands active, to keep your intention pure and focused. All these herbs over here, same thing. Same thing. Palm grids on your palm. I think I would like to see that, Becky. Palm crystal grids. Because I would like to see that. Very, very much. Okay. All right. Oh, and colloidal silver. That's been around for a million years. So I would like to, I like using colloidal silver. A lady that I used to work with used it all the time. She got me interested in it, and I do like it. I do appreciate it. So that's something, but I was trying to think, there was something else that I was like, this definitely should be updated. It'll come to me. Yes, send me some pictures, Becky. I would definitely love to see a palm crystal grid. You know, maybe that's something that we should do next week, is do crystal grids, because we can talk about how to set crystal grids up for peace, for protection, for whatever you're going through, whatever struggle you're going through, to set those things up. I love some grids. That'd be great. That'd be great. So what do you guys think? Would you like to see some crystal grids? We can like play around with those. I can get the other camera set up. Really? Crystals in the chakra symbols? Okay. I have a selenite wand with chakra symbols on it. Can you see it? Oh, come on. There it goes. So that's a pretty cool one. Yes, make a show of crystal grids. Okay, Grace. Well, hello, Grace. Yes. All right. So I'll get together some crystal grids. We'll do crystal grids for prosperity, for protection, for whatever it is that you're wanting, for peace. That might be a good one for the holidays. You know, having a crystal grid for peace during the holidays. Oh my gosh. Would be so great around some of my family. I mean, dude. It's like getting the Hatfields and the McCoys together a lot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, okay. And I'm going to look at these crystal grids that Becky's talking about. They're palm crystal grids. And I will do my best to understand what they are before we come back next Tuesday. And I'm not going to forget next Tuesday. I'm not. My kids are going to be out of school, but I will remember. I will remember to meet with you guys. I promise. I mean, it's like I'm forgetting half of my job. It's crazy. Think about crystal colors and chakras for holidays. Red, root, and green heart. Ooh, that's good. Don't forget my favorite chakra. The solar plexus chakra, which is that bright yellow chakra. The solar plexus chakra is your inner strength, your personal power, and your intuition all in one. I will say that a million times. It is my favorite chakra. It is. And if you listen to any of the zodiac videos, you will hear me say that a million times, because I'm always like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite chakra. I can't stop talking about my favorites. Do y'all have a favorite chakra? I mean, you don't have to. It's not a requirement. It's just, you know, one woman's opinion. But that solar plexus chakra, it's the closest, like, you know, yellow that I have. That's why I always want to wear yellow when I see you. Oh my gosh, Becky, that's hilarious. And you look good in yellow because you're like a blonde. Yeah. I'm a faux blonde with roots, apparently, but I digress. Well, Kelsey, that is a shame. We have to have you have a favorite chakra. Okay. So I want to tell you guys again, if I reached out to you in the chat on YouTube saying that I needed you to reach out to me at my email address, it wasn't a solicitation in any way, shape, or form. There's people that I've been trying to reach out to because they've won a prize in the giveaway. Y'all, this has been going on for almost a month. I've given out some prizes. 3 people have received their prizes. I still have people that haven't responded. So I'm reaching out. So if I'm reaching out to you, it is not a solicitation. Dude, you just won something. If you don't want it, that's okay. I'm moving on to the next person. After 3 to 5 days and I haven't heard from you, I'm moving on to the next person in the drawing. So just FYI. I know. Alethea received hers. She picked up a prize. And actually, Kelsey is a winner. She actually answered me, so that was good. I have a list of people that won. Here we go. Okay, so the people I've reached are Joy, Alethea, Michelle. This says Michelle, Texas. So I guess I had more than one Michelle. Strangely enough, I had 2 different Karens in Colorado. Kelsey, and then I am waiting for 2 more people. So we'll see. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight, y'all. This has been a crazy, crazy day. For me, at least, I have no idea what's been going on like the past week or so. But you know what? It's okay. It's going to get better. The planets are starting to all go direct. You know, Pluto's gone direct. Saturn's gone direct. We have 1 more Mercury retrograde left for this year. And we're moving in a good direction. We're done with the eclipses for this year. Next year is going to be a 44-8 year. Yes, indeed. I added it again. It is a 44-8 year in numerology, and it's the year of the dragon. Yeah, the year of the dragon. And I cannot wait to show you guys. One lucky person is going to win a nice little emblem, let's call it. No, it's not an emblem. It's a token, a nice token to celebrate the year of the dragon. Yeah. And I'm also I finally got my calendars in. So I'm also going to be doing a giveaway of the 2024 astrology calendar from Llewellyn. So I'm so excited. I am very excited. I think this has been a great year. It was certainly better than last year. Last year was crazy, and this year has been so wonderful, and I'm so grateful for everything this year has brought me. I'm looking forward to 2024. I don't know that I've ever had a 44-8 year in my lifetime, but this is going to be fun. And y'all are going to join me, aren't you? Join me in a 44-8 year celebration. Ah! All right, you guys. Thank you again for joining me tonight. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And until we see each other again, what are you going to do? Get out there and make your magic. Bye, y'all.